Welcome to HeroQuest fans. Let's get right down to it. On the left, you have the retail version from 2023, November. On the right, you have HasLab 2021, the Mythic tier. So obviously, there was no box originally for Prophecy of Telor. It was just this larger Mythic box. And over on the left-hand side, you do have a picture of the box. Now this is from Hasbro Pulse. This is actually like a holographic cover that you see. All right, now let's look at, well, obviously there would be no, and that's the Spirit Queen's Torment. You know, there's nothing on the back, it's just a quest book. So let's look at some of the details here. There's Spirit Queen's Torment on the left. And again, there was no box, it was just the quest book. Now we haven't seen the new quest books yet. We don't know what is inside, what's changed, but I can show you that real quick here. So if we look closely here, Spirit Queen's Torment, this is the Mythic tier version. So here looking at Spirit Queen's Torment, this is from HasLab. So you had the Potion of Restoration for 500 gold coins, the Venom Antidote for 300, Potion of Battle 200, and the Potion of Dexterity 100. Now if you think these look familiar, that's because it's exactly the same as Keller's Keep Return of the Witchlord. You have your quest. And at the end, no spoilers here, you have Fortune's Longsword, the Phantom Blade, Spell Ring, Courage, Fire of Wrath, Tempest, Orc's Bane, Rabbit Boots, Dust of Disappearance, artifact reference. Okay, looking at Prophecy of Telor again, HasLab version. You open up the quest book, you wouldn't have had that. You have the Potion of Restoration, 500 gold. Potion of Healing, 200, which gives you 2 body points back. Potion of Magic, 400. Now these didn't have physical cards. Potion of Battle, 200. Okay. Then you turn to the end, without looking at the spoilers. Rod of Telekinesis. Contrary to popular belief, this is these extra artifacts that are not found in the game system. They're included in the box. They're just not found in the actual quests. Ring of Fortitude, Heal Body, Tempest, Ball of Flame, Genie, Rock Skin, Sleep, Fire of Wrath, Courage. Now, many have pointed out, especially Hispazargon, that not all of those artifacts at the end are actually found in these quests. So we expected there'd be some corrections. So once again, Prophecy of Telor, Spirit Queen's Torment, Prophecy of Telor, this is the back of the box. So actually this is a new kind of scroll of info. Vile Dread Magic has rendered Lore Tome nigh unreadable. Its pages reveal just one name, Melar, or Melar. And you can read that for yourself. And there it is. So we're going to zoom in here and get a better view of some of these things. So there is I call them the female skeletons. I mean, who knows, right? Because they're wearing those skirts there. But you can see what the sculpt looks like up close from the Mythic on the right. And then you can see the kind of orange, um, fiery, whatever you want, semi-transparent version there. There's what the zombie looks like, female zombie. The Mythic version on the right, in kind of the off-white plastic, and then the fiery orange plastic in the retail version. And over on the right there's the Hammer Orc from the Mythic set. And on the left, the fiery orange version. Both of these packs have the same monsters, just the distributions are different. I should correct that. Um, there are a couple exceptions to that. And there's the alternate sculpt. I consider that the female abomination on the right there. So as you can see, the sculpts are the same. So Avalon Hill is making sure that the Mythic figures go into the hands of the general public. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to try to get these. They're just in a flaming color. Here again, you've got the Warlock hero. It's like dark halfling type character. And as you can see, it's the same miniature sculpt color in the retail version. What to expect. Interestingly enough, they did decide to take this alternate gargoyle sculpt from the Mythic set on the right there and cast it in heroic red to be the demon form of the Warlock hero, which is an interesting choice. I guess some players do that. Kind of got an interesting, almost Cthulhu looking face, kind of like a bat with a beard. But they also have a glowing fiery version, so there's actually two gargoyles in there. And there's the Mythic goblin. It's a male goblin with the claws there. You know what? I may be wrong. It might be a female goblin after all. Ha! Never looked closely enough. Okay, so maybe you could have an all-girl Hero Quest if you wanted to. Actually, you wouldn't have enough goblins. Well, unless you put both sets together. But anyway, um, as you can see, the same familiar pattern emerging. Female mummy. I really like this design. There she is. As you can see, it's just a different color. Kind of a see-through orange in the remake. And then there they all are in their glory. Oh yes, I almost forgot. The female Dread Warrior. Over on the right is the HasLab version, the Mythic tier version, with the quasi He-Man sword. Very similar pose to the Magus Guard. But as you can see, same figure as that fiery version. There's only one of these figures in each of the new retail boxes. So if you wanted the two that you would have gotten with the Mythic tier, you'd have to buy both boxes, or two copies of one, I suppose. And then finally the dice. So you would have gotten 6 extra combat dice in the Mythic tier, and in this version you get orange dice. I know it only shows 4 in the picture, but you get 6 in the retail version. So there they all are. So here we see a change. So over on the left, we have the Potion of Magic. And there's the Mythic version. Same price, but they added a little of flavor text there. When uncorked, a plume of smoke emerges in the shape of an arcane rune. And there's an actual card for it. Notice how it doesn't have the copyright on the bottom. We've got the Warlock spell on the right, HasLab version. Let's see which one it is. Okay, Dark Wings. It's the HasLab version. Cast a spell on an enemy's turn after you have suffered damage. On the enemy's turn immediately after you suffer damage. To reduce that damage to 0, instantly move to any unoccupied square you can see. So you can see the wording is slightly different, but the effect is the same in both the HasLab version on the right and the retail version on the left. Now this Water of Healing does not have an equivalent in this one. You do find Water of Healing, but the only, as a spell scroll, but the only one that they actually included in the back here was the standard heal body, because there wasn't a Water of Healing scroll originally. And as far as the Warlock, the card looks the same. I mean, even though the one on the left is a mock-up, it's going to be the same. There's a better view. You are the Warlock, a magical artillerist who has bonded with a sinister creature, allowing you to assume its winged form. Let your allies protect you while you deal damage from afar. Counts. See, they changed it. Counts as wizard hero in terms of which weapons, artifacts, and equipment they can use. Whereas in the retail version, say the Warlock may only use the weapons, artifacts, and equipment usable by the wizard. So they did reword that slightly. You're still going to probably have people asking about that, though. Well, can she use the elemental spells? Just means she can use like the wizard's staff and the wizard's cloak, that kind of thing. That's what I took it as. Now they did include this little rotating deal, but it's the same figure. Is the build quality going to be a little bit better? Maybe. In the video, it looks like it has glitter inside it, but I think that's just because it's a 3D render. Not necessarily because they actually are putting glitter into these, although that would be kind of funny if they did. Now we move on to the Spirit Queen's Torment. So this is the Bard, the Orc Bard, the Orcish Bard. Same exact figure. Just as ugly, just as goofy, whatever you want. It's the same guy. Even got the medal. Yes, the medal is there. So how is the Spirit Queen's Torment any different? Let's take a closer look. So character-wise, you see a familiar pattern. You've got the alternate Abomination. You've got the alternate Chaos Warrior, the alternate Orc, the alternate Goblin, the alternate Zombie, the alternate Skeleton, the alternate Mummy. But you have a new one that you didn't have in Prophecy of Telor, which is the alternate Dread Sorcerer, or Chaos Warlock, as we would have called this character back in the original game. So that one is only in this pack. And of course, these are in ghostly green, transparent green instead of transparent orange like the other one. Once again, you get the 6 dice, except they're transparent green instead of white or orange. So there you go. There's the differences there. And once again, new flavor text on the back. The elven sage Sylvana, brilliant diviner and longtime ally of Mentor, has been experiencing visions of disquiet spirits surrounding her beloved late apprentice, Neelath, a skilled spirit talker who had been slain by Zargon and laid to rest years ago. I'll let you read the rest of that yourself. So there's new paraphrases or summaries of storyline stuff on there that you can read about. And there's the distribution of the figures. So if you want to compare, okay, Spirit Queen's Torment, 2 skeletons, 2 zombies, 2 goblins, 2 mummies, 2 abominations, 2 orcs, 1 chaos warrior or dread warrior, 1 dread sorcerer, 2 abominations, and 1 bard. Now compare with the previously mentioned Prophecy of Telor. You've still got 2 mummies. You've still got 1 dread sorcerer only. You've still got 2 goblins. You've still got 2 orcs, 2 zombies, 2 skeletons. But look at this. There's only 1 abomination in Prophecy of Telor remake. I should change the picture. This is Prophecy of Telor we're looking at here. Prophecy of Telor. Okay, so you've only got 1 abomination and you've got 2 gargoyles. But you have no dread sorcerer. There it is again to compare. So Spirit Queen's Torment, 2 abominations. 1 dread sorcerer. And look at that, no gargoyles. So no gargoyles in Spirit Queen's Torment. No dread sorcerer in Prophecy of Telor. Now you will notice one thing that is conspicuously missing. Actually, you know what? I think I'll save those to the end. What's missing from these packs? Because this is not the entire Mythic tier that you're getting between these 2 boxes. Which led some people to question, well, is there going to be a 3rd box? They haven't said. These are both being released November 15th of 2023. So just like the leaks predicted, they were coming out this year and they're coming soon. And they're going to be in multiple languages, which is great. And they're $33.99 manufacturer suggested retail price. But let's look some more at Spirit Queen's Torment. So here we have the Bard spells on the left there in the retail version. Mythic on the right. Bard spells looks the same to me. Now there is an extra courage spell scroll, but it looks the same to me. It does say any hero may use this scroll. Let me just double check. Okay, in case there was any doubt, now you know. So the original Mythic artifact spell scroll courage did not say any hero may use this scroll. I mean, we assumed that was the case. That's how it was intended. But it didn't actually say that, leading some to believe that these spell scrolls were only for characters that already could use magic, as opposed to like the barbarian or the dwarf. And there we've got the rapier. Okay, the text has changed. On the left there with the retail version, when wielding this long slender sword. On the right, this long slender sword. You may roll 2 attack dice. Allows you to roll 2 attack dice. And may attack diagonally and may be used to attack diagonally. May not be used by the wizard. They're both 250 gold coins. Nothing has changed, just the wording slightly. And of course, we've seen the Bard hero card, but let's look at it closely. The artwork, you do see more of the body of the character in the new card. His stats are the same. The companion app still says he starts with a dagger, but actually starts with a rapier. So a little bit more art there. And you can compare that to the spell cards that he has, where you can see there's more of the character on there. And again, comparing HasLab's Mythic Tier spell Inspiring Tale on the right. This spell may be cast on any one hero excluding yourself. On the left, the retail version, this spell may be cast on any one hero excluding yourself. On the right, it says the next time that hero attacks, they may roll 1 extra combat die. On the retail version, it says on that hero's next attack, they roll 1 additional attack die. Okay, so it didn't, on the old card, it didn't clarify what type of combat die it was, because the combat die could be attack, could be defense. So you could say maybe the old card was more versatile, or they just didn't clarify, was it defense or was it attack? The old card says, regain this spell when any hero you can see, excluding yourself, rolls defend dice. They result in 2 white shields. The retail version on the left says, regain the spell when any hero you can see, excluding yourself, rolls 2 white shields while defending. So again, reworded, a little bit more clear as to what they intended on the new card. So very minor differences. Okay, so we'll turn this card over and look at You Are the Bard. Your spirit and songs inspire and invigorate your allies. You prefer to stay light on your feet. So when you are wearing non-metal armor and not carrying a shield, you have 1 extra defend die. That's the HasLab version. The new version, you prefer to stay light on your feet. So when you are wearing non-metal armor and not carrying a shield, you roll 1 additional defend die. So very similar. And we know from the revised cards that they consider helmets to be metal armor and bracers to not be metal armor. Now they don't show us all the cards, so we don't know if the other ones have changed. So here's the other Healing Song and Lullaby, which is exactly like Sleep. The Bard spells. Okay, I want to go back to Prophecy of Telor and compare some things here. So looking at the retail versions that are set for release later this year. The pre-orders begin next month. It's hard to believe. But the sculpts appear to be exactly the same. Let's look a little closer at these cards. So we see that there's a Potion of Healing, 1d6 for 500 gold coins. That was not originally in here. As you can see, there's only 4. No Potion of Healing, 1d6. But what that does remind me of is Rise of the Dreadmoon's Alchemy deck card, Potion of Healing, a blue brilliantly glowing elixir that tastes of home. Drink this potion to roll 1 red die and restore that number of body points not exceeding your body point total. 500 gold coins. So this Rise of the Dreadmoon Alchemy card looks the same as what I presume is an equipment card for Prophecy of Telor in the retail. So interesting that they let you buy those 1d6s for 500 gold. Also, another of these, so originally it was just Potion of Healing. See, in the Mythic, 200 gold coins, 2 body points restored. No card, just on the page. Well, now they've called it Potion of Lesser Healing. And once again, Rise of the Dread Moon, alchemy card. See, they've added this little flavor text. So, Potion of Lesser Healing, a blue, softly glowing elixir that tastes of home. Drink this potion to restore up to 2 body points. Now, it doesn't say over their maximum, so I guess no. I mean, you can quibble about those things all day long. So, 2 body points. It doesn't say lost body points, but restore implies ones that you've lost. So, 200 gold coins. So, this Rise of the Dread Moon variant has changed this into in the retail version of Prophecy of Telor. Okay, so Potion of Restoration. Let's look at that one. I don't think it's changed, but let's take a closer look. Once again, looks like they're using the Rise of the Dread Moon version that has the scent of lavender fills the air, the little flavor text. Ah, a change. Potion of Restoration. Drink this frothy brown this brown frothy liquid to restore 1 lost body point, 1 lost mind point. It's refreshing after a tough battle. That's the version that's in Keller's Keep Return of the Witch Lord. It's in the Mythic tier. Whereas this Potion of Restoration over here appears to be the Rise of the Dread Moon version that they put into Prophecy of Telor remake. And if we look closely at it, I bet you will find that that's the case. There's the alchemy card. Sure enough, 300 gold. So you see it's different. It's cheaper. 500 versus 300. So over on the right, this is the Mythic Equipment card. On the left, Alchemy card from Rise of the Dread Moon, which matches the new one. So Rise of the Dread Moon appears to be like the play-tested version, so to speak. Or the fan feedback edition, if you will. Now, one other interesting thing you'll notice here, wand. What's that wand doing there? Well, that is the Warlock's weapon. The wand grants you 2 extra attack dice against any monster in your line of sight and may only be used by the Warlock, 200 gold coins. But look over here on the right and see what the wand looks like in the Mythic version. Look at that. The artwork is completely different. Look at that. This more closely matches the actual figure. The figure appears to be holding some kind of shard in her hand. Doesn't look like much like a wand. Looks more like a dagger or something. Same attack dice, but the old one was 125 gold coins. The new one is 200. And get this. Does that artwork look familiar? Well, Wand of Magic. Same artwork. So they reused the wizard artifact as the wand for the warlock. I personally think that feels a little lazy, even if this looks like, I don't know, maybe cooler. This is just wild, wild and crazy, you know. But anyway, they changed it. For whatever reason, they decided that was better. And of course, this is an artifact. You don't buy it. So they raised the price, changed the art. Okay. Okay, so the Potion of Magic does appear in the Alchemy deck of Rise of the Dread Moon. Let's compare. Potion of Magic. When uncorked, a plume of smoke emerges in the shape of an arcane rune. Drink this potion to recover up to 3 spells you've cast during this quest. Now in Rise of the Dread Moon, it's crafted, so you can't buy it. Whereas in Prophecy of Telor, you buy it for 400 gold coins. Now, I do want to compare the actual book. So, Prophecy of Telor Mythic version, Potion of Magic, 400 gold coins. When consumed, this potion allows the spellcaster to regain 3 of the spells that they have already cast during a quest. So they added a little more flavor text this time. Potion of Battle. Bitter but effective. So they added a little bit of flavor to the new version. Drink this potion to reroll all of your attack dice, 200 gold coins. So the price hasn't changed from the original version, which reads, if you have a really weak roll of the attack dice, you may drink this blood red potion. It allows you 1 reroll of your attack dice. So this mythic version is just like Keller's Keep Return of the Witch Lord. So there really wasn't an extra card. It was just, you just pull it from one of those expansions and use it because it's mentioned here. So it's telling you why you would want to reroll dice. And once again, Prophecy of Telor, looking over here, we've got the Warlock. Card looks the same, 2, 2, 4, 5. Starts with the wand, no change there. You are the Warlock, a magical artillerist. Oh, I already did that one. Okay. Comparing these Warlock spell cards, you actually see more of the art in the new card. It's more cropped in the old card, the Mythic one. I'm not showing the right one, but yeah, you get the idea. Looking at these other spell scrolls, so we got Rock Skin, Water of Healing, which didn't exist before, Heal Body, Lightning Bolt, which didn't exist before. The only difference I see on these cards are the fact that it says any hero may use this scroll at the bottom, which it didn't say before, just in case there was any doubt. And here's the 3 spells of the Warlock once again. So you got Demon Form. The Warlock ignores pit traps and may roll 1 extra combat die each time they attack until the spell is broken. I don't know why they can't say she. The spell is broken when the hero suffers 1 body point of damage. I guess they do that with the other spells too. Like the elf spells, why not just say the elf if the elf is the only one using it? Regain this spell when you reduce the monster's body points to 0. Now the new version says this spell may only be cast on yourself. For the duration of the spell, roll 1 additional attack die and ignore all pit traps. The spell ends when you suffer any amount of damage. This spell is restored when you reduce a monster's body points to 0. So they reworded the whole thing, but the meaning is the same. Next, we look at Fear. The original version, this spell causes, and again, when I say original version, I'm not talking about the playtest from the HasLab campaign. I'm talking about the actual version that people got shipped to them in 2021. The spell causes any one monster to become so fearful that their attacks are reduced to 1 combat die. This spell can be broken on a future turn by rolling 1 red die for each of their mind points. If a 6 is rolled, the spell is broken. So it's very similar to the Dread or Chaos spell, except it's on the future turn. Now the new version says this spell may be cast on any one monster. The target is consumed by fear and may only roll 1 attack die. A little bit of flavor there. This spell can be broken on the target's future turns by rolling 1 red die for each of the target's mind points. On a roll result of 6, the spell is broken. The spell has no effect on targets with 0 mind points. Okay, so they made an extra caveat to say that it doesn't work on undead characters in the new version. Which you could have imagined, but if you're an EU player, maybe you wouldn't have thought of it that way. Like, oh, it's extra effective. And then Dark Wings, we've already looked at. Cast the spell on an enemy's turn after you've suffered damage. Reduce the damage to 0 and move instantly to any unoccupied square you can see. The new version says you may cast a spell on an enemy's turn immediately after you suffer damage To reduce the damage to 0, instantly move to any unoccupied square you can see. And yes, in case you're wondering, the way Lightning Bolt works is the same as the Dread spell. So meaning it can hit friend and foe alike with 2 body points of damage because it just keeps on going. So it'll clear straight through them. So that's Prophecy of Telor. And of course, Prophecy of Telor is 13 quests. We have no indication that anything has changed there, but it'll be interesting to see what's inside the book, see if they fixed all the errors people pointed out, maybe if they added any extra flavor or updated any things. Now this one's, it's a bit harder to see. Back to Spirit Queen's Torment. So we've got Lullaby there. I've got the Rabbit Boots, Poison Quill, or Anti-Poison Quill, the Dust of Disappearance, Spell Scrolls. They didn't give us quite a nice view of the Spirit Queen's Torment stuff as they did Prophecy of Telor on Hasbro Pulse's page. Maybe there's another page that shows it better. But okay, so now we've looked at what they've shown us so far officially, publicly. And now I want to take a look at what we don't see. So one thing that's conspicuously absent from both of these remake retail versions of previously exclusive Mythic content is doors. Where are these plastic doors? The wooden reinforced exit door and the iron entrance door. Where are they? Why weren't they included? I fully expected these to be in there. And I've looked at the quest books just to make sure I wasn't imagining things. And every quest doesn't begin and end on the spiral staircase. You do use entrance and exit doors. And yes, it's true, when you're playing those quests, you don't have to use these from Keller's Keep, Return of the Witch Lord. You could use one of these and just say, that's the entrance door, and as soon as everybody goes through, you just take it away and use it wherever you need to, because you only get 5 of these closed doors. But I'm surprised they didn't include any. Now, I can just almost hear in Carmine saying, well, which would you want? Yet another plastic door? Or would you want some dice? You know, get some more clear dice like this. Oh yeah. If you want to know what the dice are likely to be like, check out these dice. So these light green ones from Gen Con, these mistakes that they made, and then these deeper blue transparent icy dice from Frozen Horror, except all in green or all in orange. But one thing I was realizing was if you add up all these colors, what you're going to have now is you're going to have, if you had 5 players at the table, theoretically you could have 5 different colors of combat dice and 2 colors of movement dice. So Zargon could have his own dice and each of the heroes could have their own. So you'd have orange, green, white, the Dreadveil dice with the purple clear or whatever, and then light blue, and then movement dice red and blue. So there you go. You could do it if you wanted to. Just like you can do those other combinations. You could have these mythic retail packs to have like all the monsters be female if you wanted in a game. Now another thing it's missing. What else? This little mythic box, not included. What's in it? This is the one thing that I fully expected would be part of retail, but it's not. And that is, of course, you know, they said Sir Ragnar Prisoner would not be part of it. He wouldn't be, he would just be an exclusive, just like, if I can pull him out of here, remember the old candy trays, just like the Witch Lord, or just like Mentor, quote unquote. How cool would it have been if they had this guy, but cast him in like dark blue and called it Zargon? Maybe change that little symbol there, just for all the nerds out there. But anyway, yeah, these figures are not in there. So you've got a different female barbarian. Okay. She was apparently proprietary or exclusive. They didn't precisely say that. I kind of assumed, well, if you order direct from Hasbro, you'll get these, and any other store wouldn't have them. But female wizard, apparently. Female dwarf. These are all mythic stuff that you're not getting in this new set. So it's not everything. And the male elf. Frankly, I think the male elf in the Mage of the Mirror remake is way cooler looking than this guy. He doesn't look that. I mean, he looks cool. Don't get me wrong. But would you rather have that one? Or would you rather have this guy? I think it's no contest. But anyway, that's what mythic people got. And I'm one of them. But I am totally about these new packs. I mean, yeah, I would have liked to see those doors in there. I don't know if I would have made every single figure transparent like that. I would have liked to have included the druid, even though she was other than the bard, was the new hero that got made fun of the most. Just for completeness sake, for the people wanted these things, and why not just put them all in there? And so, you had the 3 druid spells, shapeshift, and yes, several people said, well, why not do a hero collection and have like, this figure and then a red bear form, maybe a polar war bear just cast in red, and then pixie and life force, which is just like heal body or water healing, and no special weapon, just a dagger. And then of course this mentor, he just had a standard wizard character card, exactly the same stats. Just call him the wizard. He doesn't get any special things. You just want an alternate wizard. Okay, here's another one. And they had, I set them aside. I don't have them handy, but they had hero cards for each of these alternate heroes. So the sex swapped classic 4, even though the elf was male in the original. And then, of course, they don't have Joe Manganiello's stuff. So his Crypt of Perpetual Darkness quest book with the 10 quests. So those 10 quests we're not getting. And then Venom, the dragon miniature, stretches the limits of the term miniature. That's how big it is. So that's not going to be included either. But otherwise, everything's there. And in fact, you would get more now than you did originally. You get double of all the monsters, except still only 1 Dread Sorcerer, still only 2 female Dread Warriors. But keep in mind, these monsters were not required for these quest books. They didn't say, oh, you have to use the special one. It's just, it's still a goblin. It's still an orc. It's still whatever. But you could use them if you wanted to. And yes, it would be very, very simple, pathetically easy to get, yourself some Krylon spray paint plus primer in the one can, spray a couple coats on one of those transparent figures, let it dry for a couple of days, and there you've got your dark green, your off-white, your gray. You could easily do that. So those are my thoughts. I would say these packs are definitely going to be worth it. I'm sure they'll make corrections because there was a lot of like little typos and things in these books. I'm sure they'll make those fixes. But even if they don't change anything else, even if they leave a couple of errors in there, I think the fact that you can finally play as, actually get physical miniatures for these heroes, even though a lot of people proxied them. I mean, they've been in the companion app this whole time. You could play as them this whole time. And they only recently, in the most recent updates, removed some of the spells, like so you couldn't see them all in the app, which made me think, oh, they're probably getting ready to release it. And we got that leak the store leak, and that to me cinched it. So looking at the track record, what's left against the Ogre Horde in 2024? Because we know Wandering Monk's coming out January, Dreadveil Dice February. These two packs are going to be in November. So anyway, thanks for watching. I just want to go over that. And I know everybody else beat me to it, but I still wanted to give my own take on it. So I think they're doing the right thing. I kind of assumed for a long time that they were going to try to release this stuff. I didn't know the details. They kind of hinted at us and dropped, many clues that this was going to happen, that they wanted to do this. But they were trying to appease everybody. They were trying to appease the collectors who wanted their, treasure to be special and, never equaled and whatever. And they wanted to appease the greater number of people who felt like they missed out on the mythic tier and were paying, ridiculous prices to scalpers. And they wanted to, I guess, bait the people that were going to say, well, how dare you make me buy it again? So we'll make it a little bit different so that you'll want to buy it again. But, you do what you do. I mean, they didn't force you to buy the scalped version for $350 or $3,500. They didn't force you to buy a second copy. But you could say at the same time, by using the HasLab platform, they kind of created the fertile soil that they should have known that scalpers were going to exploit for 2 years. But nevertheless, it is what it is. Oh, yes, and one other thing you won't get in this re-release is you won't get these two artifact cards, the Dragon Spear and the Crown of Shadows, which were for the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness for Joe Manganiello's 10 quests. But you will get the 13 from Stephen Baker in Prophecy of Telor, and you will get the 14 in Spirit Queen's Torment from Teo Sabadia. So I think that's pretty good. And for $34, yeah, that's more than $24.99 for Keller's Keep Return of the Witch Lord, but it's the same size box. But keep in mind, they raised the prices, they raised the MSRP and the direct from Hasbro Pulse for those releases. So originally, I want to say it was like $124.99 for the game system, the big box version, the fat box version with the tight candy trays. Keller's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord were $24.99. So then they raised game system to $134.99 and these two smaller boxes to $34.99. So $33.99 for these two new ones. It's all right. I mean, for what you're getting a bunch of miniatures, some dice, and the quest book. No tiles. We were speculating about tiles. Didn't see any in the box there. And then, of course, we would assume then that the PDFs would be coming out probably within 2 months after the release. And then they would be added to the companion app so that you could play them digitally if you wanted to. So anyway, that's my coverage. And we got in under an hour. So check us out on HeroQuest fans. Thank you to all the German HeroQuest fans who covered this stuff, especially Rocket Beans. They got the exclusive. I was trying to translate their stuff on the fly. I couldn't do it. My German is just not that good. There's a lot of like German idioms I don't get. But it was fun to watch them reveal the stuff. And of course, it was super cool to see Dungeon Master. He was only going to be there for 1 day, and he got the pictures, and they took the stuff down, but it was too late. He'd already taken a picture, and we knew immediately, okay, Spirit Queen's Torment, Prophecy of Telor, what we'd always dreamed is really going to get revealed. So even before. And so then they put up a generic sign that said, coming soon or whatever, and he got it. So kudos to him. And I'm sure there were lots of other people that covered this stuff on all over social media. I want to thank all the people in the Discord that were covering it, that were arguing about it, speculating about it, complaining about it, people on Yield In. So I had the benefit of hindsight, being able to pour over those comments and look at it. And yes, we could have a Rantcast episode about, did they do it the best way possible for all the fans? Like if they had just used the original colors and thrown in the doors and not done the dice, would people be happier or would they be angrier? You know what I mean? Like someone's always going to be upset, but the question is, would they have? Like I've gotten the impression all through this that Avalon Hill Hasbro's affiliate or imprint or whatever you want to call them, they are trying to please the largest number of fans they can. They're trying to get as many customers as they can. So they know they're going to alienate somebody, but they're going to try to alienate as few paying customers as they can. And that makes, a lot of sense, good business sense. It's smart. So I think they're on the right track. It'll be interesting though. I'm thinking also of NCarming's spiritual journey, that little interview that we did at Gen Con. There's some religion in here. There's some spirituality, some mysticism in here. And in here too. So the question is that going to be intact as those authors intended? Are they going to kind of just gloss over it? And Carmine has his own ideas. He's not the only person creating content. I mean, he is approving stuff. Um, how's it going to go? Is anything going to change story-wise? I don't think they're going to change anything. But it'll be interesting to see, because when they created these initially, they could have thought, well, it's just for a select group of fans. And if they don't want it, if they just want to play Keller's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord and ignore this new stuff, they can easily do that, because these were just stretch goals. But now it's going out to the world, and the world has had some time to kind of think about it, kind of look at it, see what they think. But now the floodgates are open. You're really going to get your feedback, whether you wanted it or not. So anyway, congratulations to Avalon Hill on yet another release. I didn't get anything from this for free. No paid sponsorship this time. I don't plan to pre-order. I'm just going to wait until they're available to buy, just like the rest of you, and I'll get them at that time, because I want to support the effort of them taking these formerly exclusive things and making them available to the world. Because there's another detail, another fact I want to just put out there. A lot of people forget the Mythic tier and the Heroic tier, the HasLab HeroQuest 2021 campaign thing, that crowdfunded product. You could buy it in the United States, but it wasn't just the United States. It wasn't just a North American thing. Some people think it was. It wasn't. You could also get it in the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. And I was thinking, like, okay, these are all like primarily English-speaking regions, so they didn't translate it into other languages, but they will. They will be translating it. So we've got Italian, German, Spanish, French, and English. So not a bad start. All right, check us out on HeroQuest fans. Again, if I'm forgetting anybody, I want just to personally thank everybody that contributed to the conversation. I'm sure there's many more videos you should check out from all our friends on YouTube. So Amalgam Ash, now doing Ash Quest. Got to get on his show. That'd be great. And Always Bored Never Boring, Sir Death Vids, Dungeon Master now, Cristobal on the Path of Morcar. Oh, there's so many other ones too now. I'm probably forgetting several, but anyway, and then of course all the people who demoed the stuff. It's just been really good. But yeah, I was really tired, so I couldn't get caught up at the time. So we'll just end the video there, and we'll see you on the next stream. Thanks.